Alright, and on to passage 2. Silbo Gomero-the, the whistle language of the Canary Islands. And it looks kind of nice. We've got true, false, not given, and a gap fill. So this is actually a passage 1 format, really. I was expecting something else. So that's good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 and 8 probably. Well, not probably. 7 and 6, I mean. Sorry. So that's also good. Right, so first thing we're going to do is go and find everything. So most likely, this is from the second half. That's what is usually the case. But let's just go and confirm. So there's nothing really here that jumps out. Maybe Spanish, and that's all. But this definitely jumps out. So let's go and find that. I suspect it'll be at the end. And yes, there it is. Great, no problem. So that supports the theory that this is from the second half. But now we want to go and try and find some other things. The problem here is that there's really nothing easy to scan for with capital letters or numbers or dates or anything. Now this is important, very important. When there's nothing really to scan for, remember that you can use the other one, the other question type or types, to see where those come from, because it will help you to find out where this comes from. And it turns out that's going to be very important with this reading, because it's not as we think. It's not half and half. So because I couldn't find some really great scanning language over here, found that, yes. I'm just going to go and see if there's nice scanning language in the true, false, not given. And maybe that will help us a little bit. So I see that over there. And I see that over there. So I expect La Gomera to be right at the beginning. And yes, of course, we see La Gomera over there. So far, our theory that it's half and half is strong. But then if you go and you find 15th century, I'm doing this because, let me just remind you, because I couldn't see much over here to scan for. So I'm just going to go and check where this is from. So then I go and look for 15th century. And I'm expecting to see it here, 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 here. But I don't see it. And I have to keep on scanning, keep on scanning, keep on scanning. And then I see it eventually all the way down there. And now that makes me think, what is going on? Because does that mean that all of those gap fills are, I mean, that's not even the last true, false, not given. Does it mean all of the gap fills are from here? Or does it mean they haven't done half and half? They've taken it from the whole passage and the other one from the whole passage, or they've mixed up the paragraphs a little bit. So now, just because I saw that over there and I struggled to find that, now I'm a bit suspicious of where all of this is coming from. And I'm going to take an extra couple of minutes to find where everything is coming from. It's a very important first step, is find where everything is coming from. So where is this then? Children of Gomera, learn Silbo. It must be somewhere after here, maybe even in the last paragraph. I also see the word now, which will be important. And now I'm kind of doing some detailed scanning because I'm a bit worried now. And eventually I see it in the elementary schools is where the children of Gomero are. The island is the island of Gomero. So this last one, this one is from the first paragraph and this one is from the last paragraph. So they've taken the true, false, not given from everywhere. And it's very important that you discovered that quite early in this reading. So, and this is great. It's good practice. It's good for you to see it, that they can do that. 90% of the time they do half and half when they have this question type combination, but they can mix it up. So, okay, now I'm worried. Now I see that this is coming from everywhere. So now I'm going to go back here and see if I can find this, because now this might come from everywhere as well. So I'm probably going to look at that, how it is produced and how it is used. But there's quite a lot of relatively good scanning language. It's good because it's unique language. It's not really going to be paraphrased. Shepherd is a shepherd. A shepherd is someone who looks after sheep. Okay, something like that. But I'm definitely going to look at these because this is going to be like topic of the paragraph. Maybe I can get something from the first lines of a paragraph and see if it's the topic. How it's produced, how it's used. High and low frequency, cupped hand shepherds. So we want to look for when do they talk about how it's produced, how it's used. And this is about shedding light and researchers. Science, this is about research, this is about this guy, what he says. It's a substitute for Spanish, recoded into whistles, and then I see there high and low frequency tones. So that is a good clue. So that is probably, that paragraph is how it is produced. And then I can guess shepherds might be in the next paragraph, which is how it is used. And where are we? And I'll just quickly go and look over there, and yes, I see shepherds over there. Okay, so now I can relax a little bit, breathe a little bit easier, because I think I've found these two paragraphs, and then this one is the last paragraph because of the UNESCO. So I think we're ready to get started. So with this reading, it would have taken you a little bit longer to find where everything is, but still do that step. It doesn't matter if it takes longer. It's a very important step. Great. High and low frequency tones represent different sounds in Spanish something. So it's going to be a noun because they're using this as an adjective. It's probably going to be uncountable or plural because they didn't have Spanish. No So the high and frequency tones represent different sounds in Spanish what? It's a substitute for Spanish, their Spanish, with individual words recoded into whistles which have high and low frequency tones. So it could be words, or it could be whistles, because I'm looking for uncountable or plural. But Spanish whistles doesn't make any sense. Spanish words makes sense. So the high and low frequency tones represent the words. The words are recoded into the tones. So that one was a little bit tricky, I think. But yeah, if you knew that you're looking for plural or uncountable, it would have had to be quite obvious. Also, a Spanish something. There's only a few things that can be Spanish. Whistle can't be Spanish. Words can be Spanish. Right. Pitch of whistle is controlled. Pitch of whistle is controlled using a silbadores. Pitch of whistle, silbadores. A whistler, and we don't know what a silbador is. What is a silbador? We see now it's a whistler. Puts a finger to increase the whistle's pitch, while the other hand can be cupped. I remember I saw cupped. So cupped is over there. So this must be in between those two. And we saw the word pitch anyway. So it's pretty clear that the one answer is going to come from there and the other is going to come from there. What have we got? Anything else we can see? This is an apostrophe S, so it's something that belongs to the silbador. How does he control the pitch of a whistle? Something that belongs to the silbador. He puts a finger in his or her mouth to increase the whistle's pitch. So he controls it using a finger. I wonder if it could be mouth. Let's just check. A whistler puts a finger in his or her mouth to increase the whistle's pitch. I'm just going to check if it could be mouth. Using a silbador's mouth. You know, I actually think if you said mouth, it's not incorrect. The pitch is controlled using his finger and his mouth. I mean, I would have said finger because the finger's doing the controlling. But if you said mouth, I think there's a strong argument that mouth would actually also be correct there. something is changed with the cupped hand. So we know where that is. What changes with the cupped hand? The other hand can be cupped to adjust, to change the direction of the sound. So I would definitely say direction. Now I wonder if it could also be sound. Sound is changed with a cupped hand. Yeah, no, we're not changing the sound there. You're changing the direction of the sound. So I don't think it can be sound. It has to be direction. Do notice that in these tables, this is like note format, and sometimes they do drop the articles in these note format just to make it shorter. Like over here, there should actually be the, but they drop it just because it's note format. Anyway, so how long has long been used by shepherds? In everyday use for the transmission of brief. What does brief mean? Brief means, I hope you know, it means short. Everyday transmission brief. So we're going to be over here somewhere. Every day, every day, every day. Can you scan, scan, scan? Daily life. Can you see brief? Quite simple. Short. If you knew that brief is short. So short commands. I think that's quite straightforward. Can relay essential information quickly. For example, to inform people about. Maybe essential information and quickly. Relay just means send. That's not really strong. Essential information quickly. There's no example here, but they say has proved particularly useful. It's a particular instance. So that is an indication of an example. Can you see quickly? Rapid communication across large areas has been vital. So we're in the sentence. It's proved useful when fires have occurred on the island and rapid communication has been vital. Essential information, vital, rapid communication, vital communication. So what are they warning about? What is the issue there? Let's look again. Can, e.g. to inform people about. What are they informing the people about? Quite straightforward. It won't be a singular because they don't have so we're looking for a plural uncountable. Quite straightforward. I think it's fires, right? And then we've actually still got two more. The future. Just notice I've mentioned this many times before. When you're talking about the future, very often it's in the last paragraph or the last two paragraphs. It's a characteristic of these readings. They discuss the past, they discuss a problem, they discuss solutions or whatever, and then they discuss how they're going to handle it in the future. And that's usually at the end of the passage. Anyway, future under threat because of new. So I'm going to look for threat and new. But with modern communication, researchers say languages are threatened with extinction. Where is new? We want a noun with new before it, and new is modern. So our answer is, oh no, be careful. That's the noun there. This is actually being used as an adjective. So this is adjective, adjective, noun. So it's not new communication. It's new technology. We want the noun. I think it's actually wrong if you put communication. Canaries are hoping to receive, finally we get, so we want a singular noun, a UNESCO something to help preserve it. They're going to receive a UNESCO what? They are seeking assistance, but you can't say, assistance, because assistance is uncountable, so it's not that one. We're looking for a countable singular. Are trying to get, receive is get, and there's our or an, and there's our singular noun, an award. To get, to receive, an award. It should be an, but because you put UNESCO over there, it becomes You might ask me why there's a vowel over there, so why don't they put an? Because that's the rule. If that's a vowel, then that must be an. But it's not actually about the vowel itself. It's about the vowel sound. This doesn't say like up, it says you. So it's the capital sort of sounding vowel, but never mind that. All right, good. Oopsie. Yeah, I think it's not bad. If you could find it in the beginning, if you could find where it came from, then it didn't turn out too bad. But you had to spend an extra couple of minutes finding all of these paragraphs, and that was the main trick in this reading. Okay, let's move on to the true, false, not given. So at this stage, what I'm thinking in terms of where everything comes from is that I think they've taken the gapful from there, so I'm thinking true, false, not given is from these, and that's where I'm going to look first. Of course, remember they can be nasty and take one of the true, false, not given from here, but it's less likely. So we're going to go and look at these paragraphs and these paragraphs first. All right, we saw the first one right in the first paragraph, La Gomera. What do they say? La Gomera is the most mountainous of all the Canary Islands. So I hope you can see the target language very quickly. You should be able to see. And this looks to me like one of those classic true, false, not given, where they're comparing many and most, and then it ends up being not given. So La Gomera is one of the Canary Islands, and we see mountainous over there. The small volcanic island is mountainous, and that's all. They don't say it's more mountainous than any other in the world. They're just saying it is mountainous. So they're saying it's very mountainous, or that's the many. So they're comparing the many and the most concepts. Right, so that's definitely going to be not given. Once again, they do not given for the first one. They do it very often. It's only appropriate for short and simple messages. So I would say only and short and simple. Only short and simple. So I go and scan for short and simple messages. Really, that's what we're looking for over here. And problem is I can't really see it. I scan over here, short and simple. I'm going to skip this, start scanning over here, and now I'm getting worried because 15th century is down there. There's still another one to come. Short and simple, and don't get sucked into detailed reading here. You're just doing scanning. Short and simple messages, short and simple messages. And I can't see it, so let's skip it and let's move on to the next one. Be ready to skip quite quickly. Okay, in brain activity study, Silbadores and non-whistlers produce different results. So that's probably our target language. Brain activity study, we're talking about a study, and non-whistlers. I'm not going for Silbadores because it's kind of everywhere. So brain activity study and non-whistlers. Now, maybe over here's researchers, but I don't say, there's brain, but I don't think it's going to be there because there's not enough for the other question between there. Non-whistlers, brain, we're looking for the results of a study. So here, a recent study, and they introduced the study. So I'm actually going to go over here and look for it here, the study team. Now remember, I said in a previous video in Cambridge 15, when you're talking about a study, it's good to divide the information into description of the study and results of the study. And ask yourself, is this description of the study or results of the study? You can see over there, it's results of the study. So we're looking for the information about the results of the study. So it's not going to be all of this. This is description of the study. Here, the researchers found that. So there's results of the study. So we're probably going to be looking over here. And we see non-whistlers over there. When the experiments were repeated with non-whistlers, activation was observed in all areas of the brain. What did they have with these whistlers, Silbadores? Key regions in the brain's frontal lobe also responded to the whistles, including those blah 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 deaf people. This, however, is important. It's contrasting. It's saying that the results from the whistlers was different. It's a contrast to the results of the non-whistlers. Here it was in all areas of the brain. Here it was in key regions of the brain. So they did produce different results. Okay, a lot of information there. Right, true. The Spanish introduced this to the islands in the 15th century. I know where 15th century is. And you all just have to read this sentence in detail. Already had a whistled language when Spain came. So they already had the language. That means the Spanish did not introduce it. Quite straightforward. This is target language is just introduced or did not introduce. There is precise data available. That's going to be our target language. Is there precise data, or is there a little bit of data? And where are we? There are thought to be as many as 70 still in use. Thought to be, so that's not very precise. Although contrast marker, in important information after the contrast marker, only 12 have been described and studied. So they're thought to be, like maybe there are 70, but we only know about 12 of them. There is precise data. Actually, this is also target language. There is precise data regarding all of them. No, we only know about 12 of them. So that is false, quite clear. And are the children now learning Silbo, the children of Gomero? It's going to take this out. We were over here, the elementary schools. Silbo Gomero had, since 1999, that means until today, it has been taught in the schools. That means it's continuing today. So the now is there. It's actually in the grammar, the now. It's since and has been taught, which is present perfect. So that means it's continuing to now. So yes, they are teaching it now to the children. True. Right, so that's all fine, and then we just got to go and find this other one. And be careful at this stage. It's fine if you can just guess it. I was tempted, if I was running out of time here, I would just fill in not given over there and move on. Turns out that would be incorrect. Short and simple messages, anything, anything, anything. Nothing over there. I look again, but watch the time. You need time to move on to passage 3. It's not going to be over there because we had something from there. Short and simple messages. So that makes me think, has IELTS been nasty and taken it from somewhere over here? And it turns out that they have. Silbadores are able to pass a surprising amount of information. It's surprising how much that they can transmit. So it's not only for short and simple, it's surprising how much any Spanish sentence could be whistled. There, I guess, is short commands. So it's not only short, but information after but, any Spanish sentence. So they can do long. That's what it means. So that means that is also false. So they were a little bit nasty in this one. Usually they give 2, 2, 2. I was expecting that to be not given, and they've only given 1 not given in this case, and 3 false. So it's a bit unusual. Also, the thing that's unusual is they've taken it from all over the place. And they've mixed it up, which made that's what made this one a little bit difficult. The questions themselves weren't so bad. It was a matter of finding where the questions came from, which potentially made this a difficult reading. But overall, not so bad, I would think. All right, and moving on to reading 3.